Our Planet Now on CBBC.
My name is Megan McCubbin. I've come here... sorry.
That's all right.
I'm a zoologist, conservationist and wildlife photographer. But perhaps most importantly, I'm a bit of a shark fanatic. I've studied sharks all over the world and I am so passionate about protecting them because sadly we know that their numbers are in steep decline.
And this isn't just a problem in far-flung places. Here in the UK, our sharks are at risk too. And I'm on a mission to find out why they're in trouble. And I'll also be revealing why your fish and chips might not be quite what you thought. I wanted to discuss my mission with my Planet Defender teammates around the world,
Is the camera recording?
Is that good? You all good?
who are all passionate about saving endangered species.
Hi everyone.
Hey, Meg.
Hi!
How are you? Yeah, I'm good. I've been excited because I've been planning my mission. I'm really passionate about sharks and I spent quite a lot of time researching them around the world. But I've never actually, I feel really embarrassed saying this, but I've never actually really seen the ones in the UK. So it's
Megan, I didn't even really know we had sharks in
Yeah.
the UK. That's even more embarrassing on my behalf.
and I'm really affected all the time when I see the headlines about the declines in shark species and the persecution that they face. And that's something that, you know, we often think is quite far away from us and far detached. So I'd really like to go and investigate actually how the UK, which is part of it.
I didn't even associate the UK with sharks. Good luck.
Good luck. Thank you. I'll see you all very soon and give you an update.
All right.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye, Meg.
There are over 500 different species of shark, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Over millions of years, they have evolved to be one of the top predators of the sea. They often have a bad reputation, but we need them in our oceans as they are vital for keeping them healthy. Protecting them is important not just for sharks, but for everything that relies on the ocean. First up on my mission, I've come to Penzance in Cornwall to find out more about the sharks in the UK.
There's actually 40 that turn up throughout the course of the year. Some stay here all year long, some come and go depending on the season.
But you would never know it as they usually stay way offshore. And I'm hoping to find one in particular, a shark I've always wanted to see. The blue shark. This perfectly adapted hunter can be found in oceans across the world, from the Arctic Circle right down to the tip of South America. And luckily for me, it's even a regular visitor right here in Cornwall. They are found here from April to October before migrating south, so I should have a good chance of seeing them. But I don't just want to see one, I want to try and swim with them in their natural habitat.
I just can't wait to get stuck in and just see what they're all about and see how they interact with me because every shark species is different, every individual is different. So I've never dived with sharks off the coast of the UK before. So for me, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime first opportunity and it's going to be so good. Morning.
Hello, Megan. Welcome aboard.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
And I've got some help. I'm joining Charles Hood, who's been running blue shark freediving trips for over a decade. No sharks yet, but we're soon joined by some friendly dolphins.
Just popped up, literally just here. There's probably about 50 of them. They literally came out of nowhere. Amazing.
What a nice little added bonus. Finally, we reach prime blue shark territory. Time to drop anchor. Normally, it would be a case of just waiting for the sharks to find us. But Charles has a secret weapon. Chum.
What have you got in here?
That's a mixture of sardines and mackerel and fish guts and heads and oil.
Oh, I can really smell it.
Well,
I might get covered in a few scales and fish guts and slime and oil and things, but you know what? It's part of the job.
Sharks have an incredible sense of smell, hundreds of times greater than our own. So this stinky mix should attract any blue sharks passing within a few miles of our boat. But Charles has found it's not just the chum they find tasty.
new boy.
New boy.
Because the last one, the shark got.
Is it?
It munched it up and sank it.
You see anything?
Charles, do you think we've got one?
Yes, it's just underneath the orange buoy at the moment.
There's one here. I'm so excited. My first ever blue shark that I've ever seen.
These sharks are known as the wolves of the sea, and it doesn't take long for the pack to appear. Measuring up to 4 meters in length, they are a formidable sight.
See just how streamlined they are. Perfect, of course, for this environment. And getting to look at them, you can see that blue shimmer, which gives them that beautiful name, of course, aptly named blue sharks.
And each member of the group has their own personality.
Some sharks will be very bold and they'll explore their environment. They'll be the first ones that come up to the buoy. And then other sharks could be much shyer and they spend a lot more time kind of around the outer areas and takes a little bit longer for them to investigate and come on in.
You excited?
Honestly, I can't wait. I'm trying not to jump in right now, to be honest. I'm holding back. I'm withholding myself. I've got my camera, I've got my snorkel, so let's do it.
Blue sharks are only found in deep waters far offshore and are usually harmless. But like any wild animals with sharp teeth, they should still be approached with caution. I'm so excited to get to join the blue sharks in their ocean home. I've waited years for this very special moment. And I'm not disappointed.
They're so calm and curious and gentle and inquisitive and so beautiful.
And this one seems to have taken quite an interest in my GoPro.
I didn't expect them to be quite so purple in the sunlight, but they are bright purple and this gorgeous electric blue. That was amazing. That was one of the most incredible experiences I have ever had. To be in the water with blue sharks is utterly breathtaking. Everything else just fades away and they're just watching you and you're watching them. It's honestly indescribable and it's something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. Getting to see these animals is such a huge privilege, but I can't help but feel really sad seeing them because I don't know when those sharks travel off and go off on migration, how safe they are going to be.
Because blue sharks have a serious enemy, and that is us, humans. Huge numbers around the world are killed when they become accidentally entangled in the nets of giant fishing boats that trawl our oceans, hoovering up everything in their path. But millions of sharks are also hunted and killed for just one thing: their fins. They end up on restaurant menus as shark fin soup. It's considered by some to be a sign of status and wealth. Blue sharks in particular are paying the price. And there are even repercussions of this deadly trade in the UK.
There's restaurants in the UK that are openly selling shark fin soup. It's quite literally written on their menus.
Although the UK government strongly opposes shark finning, it is not currently illegal to bring shark fins into the country.
Shark fin soup is such a big issue. It's a global problem. But there is another really big issue surrounding sharks in the UK, one which I find quite surprising. And it all centres around a species called the spiny dogfish.
Despite its name, the spiny dogfish is actually a type of shark. It's a really beautiful species, but one that has a sad story. Once the most common shark in the world, spiny dogfish numbers in the UK have fallen by 95% over the last 100 years.
So if I went swimming in the ocean, the chances of me seeing one would be pretty slim. But there is another way that I could get close to one, but that's battered in our fish and chip shops.
But you wouldn't know it, as they've been given a different name. A recent scientific study revealed that something you would find on your local fish and chip shop menu, rock salmon, or just rock, isn't a type of salmon at all. It's a made-up name given to a variety of species, including some sharks. Nowadays, spiny dogfish are largely imported from America and Canada, where their numbers are greater. But they are still a threatened species and listed as globally vulnerable. And fish and chip shops, mainly across southern England, frequently have it on the menu.
I've come out today for a day by the seaside, but I'm actually on a little bit of a secret mission. I'm in the perfect place to figure out once and for all what's going on behind this thing that they're calling rock salmon.
This coastal town is full of fish and chip shops. So will any of them be selling rock salmon? And will any of it be the shark species spiny dogfish?
Hiya, you alright? Could I get a piece of rock, please? Yeah. Thank you very much. No, that's everything, thank you. Have a good day, bye. Hiya, how you doing? Can I get a piece of rock salmon, please? Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much.
I've got my rock salmon samples, but now to find out what it really is. If what I've bought turns out to be spiny dogfish, it's not good news. Because unlike other fish on the menu such as cod, sharks like spiny dogfish take years to grow into adults, and they only give birth to a small number of babies. So if too many of them are caught, their population will collapse.
You know, I've never seen a spiny dogfish in the wild, and this could be the closest I ever get to one. For me, that's really sad.
I'm following strict scientific protocols to prepare each sample to find out exactly what's in my battered fish. Then I'll send them off for DNA testing to reveal their true identity.
Science is pretty cool at the end of the day.
A few weeks later, I head to the University of Exeter to find out the truth.
If the results today are spiny dogfish, a species which is really threatened, then we've got a lot of work to do.
I'm meeting Dr. Andrew Griffiths, who has spent years studying fish ecology and conservation, and was the first person to uncover this chip shop issue.
So the results then of the samples, what species did you find?
We managed to get DNA and a result from all of the samples that you sent me, and they all come from Squalus acanthius, which is the spiny dogfish.
All of them?
All of them, yeah.
I'm really kind of disappointed and sad to hear that.
And it really backs up a much bigger study that I've done previously.
Going into fish and chip shops and seeing rock salmon on the labelling, it makes things really confusing. I think if you walk into it and it says, you know, threatened shark, I bet no one would touch it.
Yeah. The easiest way to solve this would just be to change the way that we label our products, which is a relatively simple thing to do.
It's really kind of concerning for me that we're consuming something that we've got no idea that we're even eating.
But I don't think it's the consumer's fault. It's not the fault of the people going in, because they haven't got a chance to even choose something different, because law in the UK allows spiny dogfish, a shark, to be labelled as rock salmon. What even is rock salmon? It's not even a real species. We've got no chance in conserving this species unless we know exactly what we're eating.
I asked the National Federation of Fish Fryers, the official body of the fish and chip industry, for their opinion on the issues around labelling spiny dogfish as rock salmon. And they said, "We always advise the correct species name to be used and displayed within shops. Our advice is to use the terms spiny dogfish, or rock salmon." They also stated that the spiny dogfish in British fish and chip shops is mainly sourced from America and Canada. And they went on to say that they believe it to be sustainable. But the problem I have is that the labelling is still misleading, and the spiny dogfish is officially listed as a vulnerable species worldwide. Having seen for myself the issues with our fish and chips' hidden identity, and that the UK is still serving shark fin soup, I feel it's time to make some waves with the people in charge. I'm writing to Zach Goldsmith, the government minister responsible for ocean conservation, to get some answers. Let's hope I get a response. If sharks are to have a future, one thing that might have to change is the way we fish. In recent years, the number of super trawlers fishing our oceans has increased significantly. These are boats that use huge nets to capture not only the fish they are targeting, but often many other species, including sharks. But there may be some hope on the horizon for sharks in the UK.
It's an early start this morning. I've just come down to the beach. The sun is just rising, the birds have started singing, and I'm really genuinely excited to figure out how low-impact fishing could have a massive benefit for the future of marine life.
I'm heading out with a fisherman who's part of a group who have come together to do things differently.
That's quite fun.
And they say that fish populations, including some smaller species of shark, are already benefiting. In this special marine protected area of the South Devon coast, new rules mean that big trawlers are banned. Jim Newton has been a fisherman all his life, as were his dad and granddad. Fishing is definitely in the family. Jim makes a living by catching fish like bass and mullet, as well as crabs and lobsters. The way Jim fishes means he only keeps the fish he's after. The rest go back.
We're just going to come round now and pick up this end, and then we'll start to pull this net. Hopefully see some fish.
Fishing with small, lightweight nets allows Jim to be selective with what he keeps.
As soon as anything comes up that's too small or something like that, it goes straight back. 9 times out of 10 it'll be alive, you know.
Any fish in Jim's nets that he doesn't want and that are still alive can be released.
That's a ballan wrasse. It's going to go back.
This is important because they can then go on to breed and keep populations healthy.
Yeah, grey mullet that is. That's one of the fish I'm after.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's nice and
It's
lively.
quite a good size.
Yeah, decent sized fish that. They got really big scales on them. So.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. We obviously want to see youngsters coming into it, so therefore we need to make sure there's going to be fish in the sea for years to come.
I'd like to think that would be the case. Thank you.
This more sustainable way of fishing may seem like a small step, but it could make a big difference to marine life in this area.
Got a little bit drenched out there, but I have to say it was really fascinating. By not taking all of the fish out of this environment, he's safeguarding his livelihood, he's safeguarding future populations of those animals.
Of course, this way of fishing can't satisfy global demand. but it does show that tackling issues in inventive ways can be really positive.
I think that kind of mentality, that kind of thinking is something that we need to see more widespread.
But how we fish in the future since we left the EU is now up to the UK government. And I've got some great news. I've had an email back from Zach Goldsmith, the Minister in charge of Ocean Conservation, and for DEFRA, the government department who control food labelling.
I was also delighted that we committed in our manifesto to creating a new £500 million Blue Planet Fund from our overseas development budget.
And he's agreed to talk to me.
Are we all ready?
Can you see me?
Hi Zach, thank you so much for taking the time today to speak to me about an issue very close to my heart.
Good to meet you, Megan. Thanks for having me.
I've been really interested in finding out how the UK is involved with the shark fin industry. And I've, looked at the menus and I found shark fin for sale. So, I mean, what in terms...
In the UK?
In the UK. And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it just shouldn't be something that people can buy in the UK. So I'm like you, and I guarantee, like most people, if not everyone watching this program, they would like that practice to end. And this is not going to solve all those problems. Whatever measure we bring in on shark fins is not going to solve the problem, but it will contribute.
I also wanted to ask Zach about the spiny dogfish issue.
I went to various fish and chip shops and I got samples and did DNA testing on something called rock salmon, which I found 100% of was a species of shark which are declining throughout their range. It's really tricky for consumers that are trying to be more ethical, people trying to make the right decision, if they don't even given the proper labelling. I mean, to me, that just doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, look, I totally agree. I haven't seen that research, but very depressing results. It's up to government creating the rules to ensure that when you or any other consumer buys something, you're buying something that's going to be part of the solution, not the problem. So I will look into what you've just told me. I might come back to you after this and get some more information from you.
Honestly, that's music to my ears, to be honest. So is there hope then, do you feel, for future generations to go and experience the oceans around the UK?
There is masses of reason to be hopeful. All the tools that we need are there. If we use them, and that requires governments around the world, that we can put the ocean on a path to recovery.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. It's been really interesting and very helpful.
And good luck to you.
So hopefully there will be some good news from Zach and his team at DEFRA in the not too distant future. And we can protect species like the spiny dogfish and blue shark before it's too late.
I find it hard to believe that sharks have been in the oceans for more than 450 million years, a timescale that we can't even comprehend. And yet we've come along, and because of the way that we interact with them, they are now in serious trouble. I don't know whether my kids will get the opportunity to go and see sharks off the coast of Cornwall like I did.
Or whether spiny dogfish will even exist.
I'm more motivated, more than ever, to stand up and say something and try to protect them, because they really do need protection now more than ever.
Hi everyone.
Hey Meg.
Hiya.
How's it going, Shark Girl?
It's been eye-opening. There's certain fish and chip shops that are selling shark and no one has any idea because it's being sold as something different.
Knowledge is half the battle won. So really well done on actually highlighting this, because more people that know about it now, everyone's going to be so much more careful, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's having those conversations. It's clicking share on social media, or it's letting your friends know, writing letters. So there's lots that we can do, and every person can make a difference.
Thank you so much for telling us more about the story and helping people realize that these modern day dinosaurs deserve to be in the oceans and not in our takeaway. Well done.
Thank you. It was lovely to see you all. And I'll see you later.
See you. Bye.